Alright, hello everybody, T-Storm Chasers here. We have a brand new tornado warning that has just been issued. Alright, so the area we're watching is south and southwest of the Weston area, northwest of Weston Springs. This storm is moving southeast at about 25 miles per hour. And again, this is southeast of Miller, southwest of Wessington. Here it's 8:50 p.m. This tornado warning is in effect until 9:15 p.m. Central Time. And here's the area we were watching. This tornado box right about here. And this is the area that we were watching. Right there. That is where we have our tornado warning box. It's a little hard to see. So this is kind of in a rural area, which is good. But again, tornado warning in effect here until 9:15 p.m. Central Time. Let's take a look at the velocity data here and see if we can see anything. As of right now, looks like right in here would be your suspected area of rotation. And this thing has produced a wall cloud already. Has a history of a wall cloud. Right there, that is your area west of Virgil, west of Alpena, and it's moving east-southeast at about 25 miles per hour. This is for southeastern Han County in southeastern South Dakota. And I'm trying to get some things situated here behind the scenes. See here. See if we can see anything. This is way west and northwest of the Sioux Falls area. For those of you tuning in wondering if this is for the Sioux Falls area, Sioux Falls is out here, well off to the east and southeast, and it's also quite a bit northwest of the Mitchell area as well. And we just had a continuation of this tornado warning. We have a brand new tornado warning that is now issued, and now we're getting a little bit concerned now. This is now heading into a community that those of you that remember 9 years ago, the Weston Springs tornado that ripped through the town, and now we do in fact have a new tornado warning that is issued for the Weston Springs area. This is really starting to get a little bit concerning here based on what we're seeing with the velocity data. As you can see here, these brighter reds and the brighter greens right in here, this is your area of rotation. There's nothing confirmed at this point, which is good news there. But we're going to continue to monitor that very carefully. But again, there's a brand new tornado warning that is now in effect that does now include Westington Springs. This is now in effect until 9:30 p.m. Central Time, and it is picking up speed. The storm was moving at about 25 miles per hour, and it's now moving southeast at about 35 to 40. And again, it is headed directly towards Westington Springs at this moment. And right there, the bright greens, bright reds, this right here is your tornado area of possible tornadic development. Again, radar indicated at this point, but we're just going to keep an eye on things here. Again, we're particularly concerned right now about the Weston Springs area. If you have any folks in that area, in the Weston Springs area, please let them know. Take cover, lowest floor of your home or shelter. Please seek shelter any way you can. This is now entering a community. We'll be entering a community here pretty soon. Let's go ahead and do a time on this. Westington Springs here at about 9:13. That is your storm track on this at its current projection, about 912, 913, heading into the Wessington Springs area. Um, and eventually Lane and Woonsocket will eventually be impacted here at its current projection if the storm holds together, which looks like it will. This is a very strong supercell that has been going on for the better part of the last hour or two. And this thing has nowhere. Let me see here.
All right, let's see here. Let me see here. Again, Wessington Springs area now immediately threatened by this tornado warning that is now in effect. This thing is all by itself. There's nothing stopping this. You know, if you've been outside today, dew points have been in the 70s. The temperature has been in the 80s and 90s around the area. A lot of energy with this area. And again, this area in pink is also where we have a severe thunderstorm watch, which is until 1 a.m. As well. So again, southwest of Huron, southeast of Miller, this is the area we are watching right now. Again, tornado warning is issued, and a continuation, a brand new tornado warning box. This thing is all by itself. There's nothing. Let's go ahead here. So, again, Wessington Springs. This is the community that we're most concerned about. Uh, if you are in Weston Springs, please be taking cover at this point. Please be taking shelter. Again, radar indicated tornado, but you got to take it seriously. You got to take it as if it's on the ground and if it's a legit tornado, because you just never know. These things can spin up very quickly. And we have our rotation detector, as you can see right there. That is the area we were watching. Let's go ahead and look at the velocity here again. And we're kind of in an area, we're in between radars a little bit here. We're kind of in between the Aberdeen and Sioux Falls radar at this moment. So right here, but right here is kind of the area we're watching. Let me go ahead and actually switch to the Sioux Falls radar now that it's kind of moving towards the Sioux Falls radar. It's pretty fuzzy, but the area that we are most concerned about right now is right here with the bright greens and the reds coming together as a couplet, kind of like that. Reds going away from the radar, greens going towards the radar, and it's kind of it's we got some bright colors going on, but it looks like the rotation is pretty strong, but it's again, it's far enough away from the radar where it looks a little broken up. It doesn't really have that clear picture that it normally does. So again, moving southeast at this point at about 35 to 40. Again, tornado warning in effect until 9:30. And here's Highway 34. It is the area we're watching is about 3 to 4 miles to the north of Highway 34, west of Wessington Springs. And again, this is heading right towards Wessington Springs at this moment. Now, you don't have much time if you're in the area. And again, everybody wondering about the Sioux Falls area. It's a good 2 hours away from Sioux Falls yet, but if this thing, and then it's a big if this storm holds together, it will eventually make its way towards Sioux Falls. It is heading in the direction of Sioux Falls, but again, it is 2 hours away from Sioux Falls. It is well off to the west and northwest right now. But again, the area we're watching, south of Miller, southwest of the Huron area, east of Fort Thompson. This is the area we're watching right now, right over Weston Springs. Let me see behind the scenes here if there's any confirmation. Let me update the graphic as well here real quick for you guys. Let's see here. Yep, so let's see. Okay. And again, we're trying to get the camera going here. And 1 second here. Let me get this into motion here. Just doing some behind the scenes work here real quick. And here we go right here. Again, we're going live here. Those of you who are just tuning in, again, tornado warning in effect. We're just trying to adjust this here. Let's see. So, again, this is the area we're watching. East and north, or west and northwest of the Weston Springs area, right here, is the area of most concern that we are watching right there. The bright reds going away from the radar, bright greens going towards the radar, right there. That is your area. 1 second. Alright. Trying to see if there's any confirmation yet of this thing. But again, that right there, that is your area of concern. That is your tornado area right there. Again, just west and northwest of the Westington Springs area. And again, if you remember, the infamous June 18th, 2014, a lot of, if you're in the Weston Springs area, you will know that date, very familiar with that date. That was when that EF2 tornado ripped through the town of Weston Springs, and again, that was 9 years ago. And let's hope there's not a repeat of that. But again, we're going to keep an eye on this thing. It's not confirmed yet, which is the good news. But again, this red polygon on your screen, that is the tornado warning box. And the reason why it's a little bit purple is just very bright colors going on right here. But again, right there, it is a very strong low-level rotation now being picked up. So it would not shock me at all if there's at least a funnel cloud on this storm. It might be on the ground as well. But again, that's why you just have to take it seriously. If there is a tornado in this thing, it could be rain wrapped. That could be a whole nother thing about this. That's why you just got to take it seriously. If you're in this area, please be taking cover, take shelter. And this is, again, this kind of the area we're watching, and we're going to continue to keep an eye on. I do want to mention briefly, for anybody up in northeastern South Dakota, northeastern corner of South Dakota, I'll bring this up real quick. Again, our main focus is the area far to the south, but if you are in New Effington, Rosholt areas, right here, Wheaton, Minnesota, this area right here, is in a severe thunderstorm warning, which is in effect until 9:45, moving east at about 35 to 40, 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds associated with this storm. It also shows a little bit of rotation as well. We're going to keep an eye on it. There might be something there just south of Rosholt. But again, we'll keep an eye on it. But that is not our main concern at this point. The main area that we're watching is, again, down here to the south, Wessington Springs. It is moving into your community very shortly. And again, very fuzzy there. We're going to switch back to Sioux Falls. Also want to mention, we're going to continue, we're also going to follow this as well. Into Nebraska now. There is now a tornado warning here. This is southeast of Valentine, Nebraska. Just do want to mention this. And this is a very nasty supercell that is south of Ainsworth, Nebraska. So the South Dakota storm is not the only one we have going on. Again, there's one in Nebraska right now that is also tornado warned. So we'll keep an eye on this one as well. This one is northeast of Brewster, Nebraska, south of Ainsworth. If you have anybody down there in that area, that neck of the woods, make sure and let them know about that as well. But again, this is our main focus here in South Dakota, southwest of the Huron area. Tornado warning until 9:30. And I will mention this storm is slowing down slightly. The newest update to this tornado warning box, it is now moving southeast at about 30 to 35. So it's about 5 miles per hour slower. So we also just got word as well from one of our insiders here. Latest update from the National Weather Service. They are saying that this storm will be taking more of a south-southeast movement here. If that is the case, we would have to start introducing Mitchell, the Mitchell area. Again, it is what we're looking at, this storm right here. If it kind of, as it moves east, and storms typically do that, they will make a southeast turn, and this could be a situation we're going to have to monitor pretty closely as this progresses to the east and southeast. Eventually could start to impact the Mitchell area, but at this moment as well, it is headed towards Sioux Falls. But again, this is well off to the north and west of the Sioux Falls area. And again, also as well, with this supercell, severe thunderstorm warning as well. Also, Woonsocket area might eventually start to be impacted by this as well. So just want to throw that out there as well. Lane, Woonsocket could become players in this. But again, our immediate concern, down to the area here. This is the area. Wessington Springs is right here. This is Highway 34, right here. And your area of tornadic development is right here, right there. It is currently about about 7 miles to the west of Wessington Springs, moving directly towards Wessington Springs. And again, that is the area right there. The brighter greens, brighter reds, right there. When they form a couplet like that, that is what we look for on the radar. And right there, very bright colors. And again, this is moving directly towards the Wessington Springs area. And also, briefly, do want to mention this. Up here in this neck of the woods where we have this this area of thunderstorms here up by the Sisseton area, they're watching this very carefully, and it sounds like the Storm Prediction Center there's increasing severe weather risk kind of in this general area. Sounds like they will be issuing a watch. Most likely will be issuing a watch somewhere in this area for this area, far northeastern South Dakota into western Minnesota. That's an area we're going to continue to monitor, as well as the National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center. It looks like we got a hail and wind threat. Isolated tornado not out of the question, as we can see with other storms tonight. They're all in the same type of environment. So we're just going to continue to keep an eye on things. This one is all by itself as well. So that's the thing about these two tornadic storms. They're all by themselves, each of them, and they are all by themselves in a very good environment to support supercells. So there's really nothing slowing these down. So we're just going to have to continue to keep an eye on things. Also do want to mention this tornado warning box still continues right here, but that one that's not really in the area. That warning will be dropped at any moment now. That was the old warning box. This is the new one farther to the south and east. And let's see. Again, Weston Springs area, and there's your hail core as well is right in here. There's also a hail core going on right now as well, northwest of Weston Springs, heading towards Westington Springs. So let's see. So again, let's bring up the velocity. This is the best way to show where this is headed. And again, it's right here. And you can see the direction it is headed. And we are very concerned about the Weston Springs area because this rotation has not slowed down at all. In fact, it's probably picked up some strength. And again, it is heading directly towards Westington Springs at this moment. Again, this is the time. This is the time now to let everybody know, if anybody who is in this area, in the Weston Springs area, to let them know of this supercell. But right there, that is your. If there's a tornado, that is exactly where it's going to be. Again, I'll say this again. As of right now, it is radar indicated, which is good news there. However, you have to take this seriously, and you have to take it as if it is a confirmed tornado, because again, these things spawn very, very fast, and it could drop a tornado at any moment. So it is an environment where there is a tornado warning in effect, and it can produce a tornado. So, but yes, as of right now, it is radar indicated, which is good news there. But again, we're gonna keep close tabs on this. And honestly, the way this radar picture looks, there's not a well-defined hook on the radar, which means it's rain wrapped, so you're not going to see it. So as this storm progresses towards the area, but again, this is a radar indicated tornado, as it says right there. Also, again, there is a hail core. That area in purple and even some of the black colors on radar, that is also where we got some big hail with this storm as well. Wouldn't surprise me. Golf ball sized hail is possible with this. Again, moving east-southeast, and at its current rate, it will eventually here cross Highway 34. Right here. It's still showing that velocity. And let me check here and see if... And again, we'll go over this again. The storm is moving southeast at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. Issued until 9:30. So we're going to continue. We're just going to continue to stick with it right here. Right where you have that spinning circle on the radar. Right there. And as of right now, it is about 5 miles to the west of Wessington Springs right now. And it is moving right directly towards Wessington Springs. And we are getting word now that the sirens have gone off in Wessington Springs. And, alright, so, let's see. No new update. We do have a new update now. Let's see. So the NWS coming out of Sioux Falls here is saying there's going to be a wind and hail event. It's going to eventually turn into a wind and hail event as it makes its way east and southeast towards the Sioux Falls area. Large hail up to tennis balls, damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour, isolated tornadoes all possible throughout the rest of the evening. So, again, we're just going to continue to monitor this situation. Back to the radar again, it's very... Alright, let's zoom out a little bit. This is, I'm going to draw it out for you right here. This is your area. And as it makes its way east-southeast, this is your area. So right there, it's going to move east-southeast. And as it does, we're just going to continue to watch this area. This is the area we're going to monitor very closely for large hail, damaging winds, and again, isolated tornadoes, all possible throughout the rest of the evening. Trying to see if anything is confirmed yet. And again, it's just a big supercell, and so let's go back to Weston Springs right now. But again, just heads up, Mitchell, Salem, Sioux Falls, Madison, eventually Howard area. Eventually these areas will start to be impacted. And severe thunderstorm warning as well on this storm as well. Let me see. Severe thunderstorm warning. 2.5-inch hail possible on this, as well as 70-mile-an-hour winds, and that's kind of what we're seeing. So basically everything that they've been warning this evening of what could happen is now happening here in this supercell. And what's going to happen is eventually it's going to turn into a line segment as it makes its way to the east and southeast. So again, tornado warning continues. Let's go back to velocity here. It is getting fuzzy in this area. It is getting hard to see. Again, we're in between radars at this point. So again, it's going to be a lot harder to see with a clear picture what is going on inside of these storms. Inside of this storm currently. But again, best view right now is going to be the radar picture, but I would imagine it is the area we're watching is somewhere in here. This is the area we're watching very closely. Again, if there's the thing about this is it's probably going to be harder to confirm this since it's going to be rain wrapped. So just by observation, this looks like a classic supercell that is rain wrapped. If there's a tornado, we don't have that hook feature on radar. And again, it's in the middle of all this rain and hail. And again, just west of Weston Springs right now. Again, last call. Anybody in Weston Springs, please be taking cover. Please be taking shelter. Because there could be a tornado moving through the area. Yep, so projected time for the Sioux Falls area. Its current projection, let me go ahead and its current projection with Sioux Falls, it's going to be probably well after 10 o'clock. We're talking probably 11, 11:30, midnight. That is your storm track at its current pace. Again, 950 Mitchell area just after 10 o'clock at its current projection. And Sioux Falls area, probably it'll be after 11 o'clock if it holds together that long, which, again, we're going to keep an eye on it. But anywhere from 11 to about 12:30, 1 o'clock. That is the projection towards the Sioux Falls area. Again, Mitchell, just after 10 o'clock would be the projection there. So that is your timeline here on this supercell. But again, it's going to turn into a line segment, according to what everybody has been saying. The National Weather Service, Storm Prediction Center, all kind of in agreement here. And also do want to mention they have trimmed the severe thunderstorm watch a little bit. So Aberdeen, you're now in the clear. Redfield, Miller, Pierre, Gettysburg, Fort Thompson, you guys are all in the clear. You guys can go to bed. You guys are all set, all in the clear. But again, there's other storms as well that's going on. And again, possible watch. Again, we're going to continue on. But right in here, they're also talking about potential for a new watch as well. Right in this area, kind of in the Siston area, into Millbank area, into western Minnesota. So that's another area we're going to keep an eye on. Again, severe thunderstorm warning there. Moving east at 35 until 9:45. That's another area we'll continue to watch as well. But again, just severe warned, not tornado warned. If you're in Wheaton, Minnesota, you're getting hail, very heavy rain, just big thunderstorm there. But again, this is the area that we are most concerned about. It is at the present time, it is right directly over Wessington Springs is the area that, if there's a tornado, it would be right over Wessington Springs at this moment. Anywhere in this area. Again, going to be really hard to tell. In between radars, it is rain wrapped. If there is a tornado. Let's see. Watertown is under a severe thunderstorm watch until 1 a.m. But as of right now, there is no thunderstorm development in the area yet. But we'll continue to keep an eye on it. And so tornado warning continues here for another 4 minutes. We'll see if they allow it to expire or extend it. Checking for updates here. Sirens are going off again in Weston Springs. That's good news there. I'm glad that they're getting the warning out in that community. Again, we're really concerned just because, again, 9 years ago, June 18th, 2014, the infamous EF2 tornado that went through Weston Springs and caused a lot of damage. And again, let's hope and pray that does not happen again tonight. But we got to take this very seriously, as there is a tornado warning and a velocity signature right over Weston Springs. Let me go to the Aberdeen radar here quick. I know it might not show a whole lot, probably won't be much better. Just see if maybe it could show a little bit better picture. It is a little bit clear. Like I said, the area is right over Weston Springs, right here. Moving into Weston Springs right now is the area of rotation. And yes, again, as these storms progress east and southeast, they will form a line. That is why we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect. The thought process, according to the National Weather Service, is this supercell eventually will turn into a line segment. This, and eventually make its way south and east towards Sioux Falls tonight. Again, it'll be the timeline, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. for Sioux Falls. That is the area anytime after 11. It also depends on how fast, if the storms pick up speed, it could be closer to that 11 o'clock range for Sioux Falls. If it continues to slow down like it has, it'll be a little later. Severe thunderstorm warning now in effect here in this yellow polygon. Now includes Woonsocket. Does include Letcher areas. So if you're in Woonsocket and Letcher, please be taking shelter. Please be taking cover at this point, as this storm is moving towards your area. Also, again, let's go ahead and look at this real quick. And just as I panned over onto this storm, we do now have a confirmed tornado that is down in Nebraska. So just figured I would mention that. This is just east of the Brewster, Nebraska area. This is northwest of Taylor, Nebraska. This is south of Ainsworth, Nebraska. That tornado, that is a confirmed tornado on this storm. An observed tornado. So if you have anybody down in that neck of the woods, down in Nebraska, east of Brewster, Nebraska, south of Ainsworth, let them know about that. Please be taking cover. Please be taking shelter. This is a pretty rural area, which is good news there. Again, it will eventually be crossing the Highway 91 corridor and eventually make its way towards Taylor, Nebraska. And that was a pretty well-defined hook, as you can see right there. It's a pretty big supercell as well. So definitely keep an eye on that as well. But again, our main focus, this storm has been tornado warned for close to an hour now. And this one, I will say, is also starting to develop a hook feature as well. Right here, this little notch right here, that is where we're looking for, and it would not surprise me at all if they reissue this tornado warning. So we're gonna stick with it here for a few minutes, see if they reissue this tornado warning. But again, that right there, your inflow notch right here, that is the area we are going to be watching now. Also, big hail up to the north here in Westonton Springs right now, big hail core, and it is moving towards Woonsocket. If you're in Woonsocket, please be taking shelter as well. Heavy rain, big hail, strong winds as well, all possible, and on this storm heading towards Woonsocket. Also, if you're in Letcher, please be taking shelter as well. But again, we're going to continue to keep an eye on it. Again, this hook feature, we're going to continue to monitor that. Let's see. I do think, though, let's see. So right here, that is your velocity area. As well, there might be two as well. We'll keep an eye on that as well. But it looks like there might be two areas, one right over Weston Springs, but I think there might be one right there as well. But it does look. Let's see. Yeah, again, this is a very good environment for supercell development and supercells. Again, right there, this is the area where we're watching right now, and again, it's kind of making a south-southeast turn, like they said. So it was kind of up here in this area, and it has kind of taken that southeast turn. So, which is good news. I think hopefully it missed Westonton Springs. Hopefully there was not a tornado out of that, or a big one. So again, just south of Weston Springs, looks like the area of rotation at 9:32 p.m. And there you go. Bright greens going towards the radar, bright reds going away from the radar. That is the couplet that we're going to continue to monitor. They could reissue the tornado warning. But it's still showing a velocity signature. Again, Mitchell area as well, just outside of the severe thunderstorm warning box. As you can see, there's Mitchell, but Mitchell area. This will be making its way towards the Mitchell area. So just keep an eye on things if you're in Mitchell right now. As of right now, far enough away. Don't have to take shelter right now, but definitely need to be monitoring the situation, be monitoring the weather over the next half hour to an hour, as this will eventually be making its way towards Mitchell. Again, area in pink, severe thunderstorm watch. I do want to mention this now. We do now have a brand new severe thunderstorm watch, which is that area that we were talking about a little bit earlier. So this now introduces western and parts of southwestern Minnesota. This is west of the cities. Wilmer, Granite Falls, Montevideo, Canby, Minnesota, Morris, Minnesota. Wheaton areas, Redwood Falls, Tracy, Minnesota, Sleepy Eye, St. James. You are now all under a severe thunderstorm watch. Let me go ahead here and pull this up. I will pull up the see if they posted it here. Might be Minneapolis here. But let's go ahead and pull that up. I will pull it up as soon as I have it. And there it is. Let's go ahead and let me go ahead. Alright, so there it is. Let me see here. Brand new severe thunderstorm watch here, and there it is, that area on the screen. A couple tornadoes possible. As you say, all modes are possible with this. Hail up to 2 inches, 75-mile-an-hour winds, and again, a couple of tornadoes possible. So if you have anybody in this area, again, Canby, Minnesota, Montevideo, Redwood Falls, St. James, Sleepy Eye, Wilmer, Morris, Benson, anybody in these areas, severe thunderstorm watch now issued until 4 a.m. Wednesday morning. Okay, let's go back to the radar here. Back to WSV3. There is a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings on this. Wheaton, Minnesota, moving southeast at 30 to 35. For 1 inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. If you're in Wheaton, please be taking cover. If you're in Morris, Minnesota as well, be taking cover in these areas. And let's go ahead. We're going to go briefly mention on this as well. And we're going to continue to come back to this one as well. Very strong rotation there. East of Brewster, Nebraska. Right there. Right in there. That is your tornado area. And there is a little bit of a hook feature on this as well right there. That is your area of a confirmed tornado on this storm still down in Nebraska. So keep an eye on that as well if you're in that area. Again, this is in between Ainsworth and Broken Bow, Nebraska. That one's not in a watch, but again, it is all by itself, and that thing. And honestly, this storm might have taken some of the energy and some of the tornado parameters out of this storm southwest of Huron. There's still not a there's not a tornado warning on this. So the tornado warning has been canceled for this area, which is good news there for the Weston Springs area. However, I do want to mention this. It is showing signs of recycling. And to be honest, this is one of the more impressive radar pictures I've seen on this storm this evening. We're still kind of seeing a hook feature here on the radar. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on this. And then there's your hail core, the area in purple and black right here, just southeast of Weston Springs, heading towards Woonsocket, and actually might miss the Woonsocket area a little bit, kind of going in this general area, but it is heading directly towards the Letcher area. If you're in the Letcher area, please be taking cover for big hail on this as well. Really strong supercell, really nasty thunderstorm, moving east-southeast. I do want to look at the velocity here, and I'm still not convinced with there's not a tornado warning on this, but it is actually looking more impressive than when a little bit ago when the tornado warning was issued. In terms of the couplet on radar, right there south of Weston Springs, about 5 miles to the south of Wessington Springs is the area we're looking at here, showing a very tight couplet on the velocity right there. Bright greens and reds. We are just going to continue to monitor this because I'm not convinced that this is done. And it is moving. This one is moving directly towards the Letcher area. So that's a possible community that we're going to have to keep an eye on now within the next half hour. Again, severe thunderstorm warning, or severe thunderstorm warning continues in that area as well. That yellow polygon there issued until 10:15. Golf ball sized hail with this storm, 70-mile-an-hour winds, and it is moving east-southeast at about 35 miles per hour. Again, will eventually be impacting the Mitchell area at its current projection. And this is close enough to our T Storm Chasers viewing area, our chasing viewing area, We are going to continue to monitor this situation as well down in northeastern Nebraska. This is west of Norfolk, southwest of the O'Neill area. We do still have a confirmed tornado, and it is heading directly towards Taylor, Nebraska. And it is moving southeast at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. If you're in Taylor, Nebraska, please be taking shelter at this point. Please be taking cover. Again, this area is shaded in purple. Let me see here. Let me update this here. I'm going to update the graphic while we have a moment here. Okay. Let's see here. See if we can get any new updates here. Let's see here. All right. See here. Severe thunderstorm warning continues until 10:15 p.m. Central Time. The area, the yellow polygon as well, in southeastern South Dakota. Transition that here. There we go. Let's see. But again, this is your tornado area at the current time. And we had the tornado warning up in southeastern South Dakota. We're going to continue to keep an eye on that. But our tornado concern right now is in Nebraska. Again, this is northwest of Burwell, north of Taylor, but it's heading directly towards Taylor, Nebraska. And however, yeah, it looks like the area gonna be right here. There is your area of tornado development, and it is heading down towards Taylor, Nebraska. And it could even take a southern slide. So we got to keep an eye on that for communities in Taylor. I'm still that storm up by Weston Springs also has tornado potential on this. Up in southeastern South Dakota. So let's go back to this storm. Let's take a look at this one, see what we got going on. And it does look like the tornado parameters looks like have kind of died off, which is good news there. So it does look like this area, as of now, like I said, it could definitely recycle. But as of now, it does look like this has started to weaken a little bit. There is still a little bit of velocity right in here, but we're going to continue to keep an eye on that at the moment. Again, this will continue, eventually making its way towards the Sioux Falls area. Let me see if I can get a model run here. there's the storm. Let's see here. That's kind of where we're at now. And 11 o'clock. So there we go. About 11 o'clock, it's going to be kind of in this Howard to Salem area. That's kind of the area we're watching. Again, it is making its way towards Sioux Falls, but the key thing about this, will it hold together? That is the big question here. Let's see here. It does show it dying out by the time it gets to Sioux Falls. But then it also shows a new area here up by the Brookings area that we're going to have to monitor. Brookings Marshall. This area right here is an area we'll have to keep an eye on this evening for possible severe thunderstorm development. You know, again, tornadoes possible tonight. This evening, there's tornadic potential in these areas. And any of these watch areas, any of these areas shaded in pink is under the severe thunderstorm watch. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it. Let me see here. Turn the model off here, but just wanted to fill you guys in on that information. Let me see here. Okay, there we go. And back to this storm. Letcher area immediately impacted by this. Also just north of the Plankington area. Looks like as of now, Plankington is in the clear as well as Mount Vernon and Mitchell. But again, those areas, just keep an eye on things. It could change pretty quickly. So, let's see, again, so we're gonna obviously keep an eye on that as well. Back up here, big supercell. I do wanna look at this. Here, Wheaton and Graceville and Dumont, Minnesota. This area is right here. We'll keep an eye on this as well. There is tornado potential in this storm as well. But no tornado warnings there either. And then as we pan down here, again, this is another area that we were watching. And let's actually go ahead. So that's kind of the area. So there's Yankton right there. And that is where we're looking at here with this tornado warning right there. Tornado warning in effect until 10:15. And 1 second here. Let's see here. Again, this area, this purple polygon on the screen here. Let me get back to it here. There we go. Right there, that purple polygon. Tornado warning. Observed tornado. In effect, this one's in effect until 10:15. But again, that is an area we're watching right now. See here, anything new? Again, we could be having some redevelopment, so we'll keep an eye on it. In that area towards Storla and Letcher. Okay, we do have an update for this one. This one down here, southwest of Yankton, southwest of O'Neill. Right here over Taylor. This one, no longer a confirmed tornado. It is a radar indicated tornado heading towards Taylor, Nebraska. So again, if you're in Taylor or in and around those areas, please be taking cover. Trying to see if there's any updates. Nothing as of now. And this one is moving southeast at about 30 miles per hour. And supercell all by itself. And yeah, it's really started to die out. This one really started to fizzle out quickly. So again, tornado warning continues. This is, let's see. Let me see what county that is in Nebraska. Blaine County, Brown County, Loop County, and Rock County, Nebraska. Those are kind of the areas down here of this supercell. And again, the thing about this too, more supercells can form this evening, and looks like it's likely that more supercells will develop here. And from a big picture here with this storm, kind of right over the Woonsocket area, it is just one big supercell. So again, we're going to continue to watch this really closely, because it has a history of tornadic development. We are going to continue to keep an eye on it. Let's see here. Let me see. Trying to fix the camera a little bit. In any event here. Again, severe thunderstorm warning northeast of Millbank. That one's moving off into western Minnesota. Tornado warning southwest of the O'Neill. In between O'Neill and North Platte, Nebraska. Tornado warning continues. And then we have this one. Golf ball size hail, 70 mile an hour winds, moving southeast at about 25 to 30 in the severe thunderstorm warning area. And let me, there might be a picture on that one down in Nebraska. Let me see if we got any photos. Because there was a confirmed tornado. But again, this tornado signature really has fizzled out here down in Nebraska. Again, area watch, it's in between O'Neill and North Platte. It could recycle here. As of now, this thing thankfully looks very much dead in the water in terms of any sort of tornado potential. Again, that is just outside of the coverage area, but again, we're keeping an eye on things. So, but again, it's just on the edge, really on the edge of the T-Storm Chasers viewing area. let's go ahead and go back here. Northwest of Mitchell. This is the main supercell that we were watching. Had a tornado warning on it. Look at some behind the scenes stuff here. We're starting to see some more brighter colors, but it's very broad. It could be in the process of recycling. That is something we've been continuing to monitor. Just going through some different products here. So this is a hail product. So this kind of gives you an idea of where the hail is going to be. Again, southwest of Woonsocket, moving directly towards Letcher. So if you're in Letcher, South Dakota, please be on the lookout. Please seek shelter for big hail possibly moving through this area. And it looks like, as of right now, we don't have any pictures of that confirmed tornado down in Nebraska or videos. But we'll keep on the lookout in case we get them. Let's see here. That's your hail. Here's another, let's see here. And there, so that is where your hail is going to be. The brighter colors there on the radar picture. And that's a little bit broader. Ecotops, there's the ecotops of this. Very high supercell as well. Let's see. And again, we're going to continue to monitor this. This still has tornado potential if it kind of recycles itself. But as of right now, nothing tornadic out of this. Severe thunderstorm warning continues until 10:15. Heading into the Letcher area here very shortly. Severe thunderstorm watch continues. Includes Watertown, Huron, Brookings, Chamberlain, Mitchell, Wagner, Yankton, Sioux Falls areas, all in this severe thunderstorm watch. Also, again, over here in western Minnesota, Dawson, Ortonville, Granite Falls, Canby, Montevideo, Wilmer, Benson, Morris. All of these areas in Minnesota, and Cato as well. They are in a severe thunderstorm watch as well until 4 a.m. Again, panning over, this is our main area that we are watching. The main area, as it's in the Sioux Falls area, impacted by this eventually as this storm, if it holds together, which looks like there's more and more evidence supporting that it's going to die out, but the way that the National Weather Service is pictured, if it holds together, we'll be making its way towards Sioux Falls here within the next few hours, next couple hours. Let's see if that tornado warning is still in effect down in Nebraska. So that is the only tornado warned storm we have north of Sargent, Nebraska. Right along Highway 183 there. So again, anybody down in that area, anybody that knows anybody down there, let them know about that. I think what we're going to do here is currently, looks like the situation currently has kind of, we're kind of in a lull at this point. So I think what we're going to do for now, we're going to step aside, we're going to take a little break here, and we will jump back on more than likely, especially as it gets closer towards the Sioux Falls area. But if there is a tornado warning or in these areas, we'll definitely be jumping back on. But as of right now, we're going to take a little break. and kind of regroup here. I'd like to thank everybody for watching this evening. Again, we're going to continue to keep an eye on things. If conditions do warrant, we'll jump back on. But again, this supercell heading towards the general area of Mitchell. We're going to continue to keep an eye on it. But thank you all for watching, and we will be back.